Good day, everyone. Hope you're well. Welcome back. And you know, it's that time. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. We're through 3/4 of the Battleground season. You know what that means. Like I said before, if you played football with me, you hold those fours up. We're going into that fourth quarter, looking at what it's going to look like down the stretch, trying to chase that sweet, sweet golden nectar that we call Radiance. Kabam knows what they're doing when they're trying to get us addicted to something. You feel me? I hope you've had a good season so far. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at the numbers, shall we? So you can take a look and see. We just documented the first few weeks. It's very noticeable that this season has gone much slower than previous seasons. Cutoffs are down from what they've been historically. We'll show that a little bit on a later tab. You can see I got some question marks there. We're going to do a little something different. But yeah, things have slowed down with the exception, of course, of the Gamma cutoff. Gamma has picked up, you know, a super slow start to the first 2 weeks of the season, but as people are filling in, it's picking up. You can see that a few more of the averages have picked up a little bit, notably here in this range. Here we've got through here in your Quantum, Mysterium, etc. Really what that is, and we've seen it before, is people chasing the 200. It kind of bumps up, it pushes hard. We see it picking up as people are chasing for that 200. And then as we get to this 200 number, you start to see the averages fall off. And that makes perfect sense. A lot of people interested in getting that 20K, not as many people interested in finishing, you know, wherever they're going to be for end of the season. So that said, you know, averages are down, things are pushing, but we've got 1 week left. And so with that said, here's where we wind up with extrapolated cutoffs. Now last season, the Uru, Gamma, Arcane stuff all held pretty true, and I would expect that to be the case. So with these numbers, I think you're going to be pretty safe. You can see my little formula there. It accounts for the current average from the last week and then doubles the last 2 days. And that gets you to this minimum suggested projected cutoff. I do think based on what we're seeing this season that for Celestial and below, those numbers are probably going to be pretty solid. Now we will document. I will get into the point now where I start documenting daily. Won't do daily videos yet. That'll be for the last few days of the season. But I do think we're on a pretty good track here. I haven't seen a ton of shifting that makes me think anything different. So if you're interested in your Arcane, your Gammas, your Quantums, etc., this is where this stuff's going to hold. What I'm really interested in is this up here. C4, C3, C2, C1. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Brawlification season. And the heavy hitters are coming out to play. We're just getting to the time where they're really going to be bumping, pushing. I don't know if any of you guys watch race car driving, anything like that, but there's going to be rubbing, racing, bumping, grinding. Oof, let's throw that one out. All sorts of pushing going on, but it's going to be a great time. I hope you really tune in to see some of the drama, the stress that goes with people jockeying for the top, you know, 4, 5, 6 positions. Right now, the gap in C4, remember C4 is the top 20 players. From the top of C4 to the bottom of C4 is almost 200 points amongst those players themselves. It's wild. It's wild. But if you're here watching this, you're probably not one of them. You're probably interested in something different. And I don't want to drag this out forever, so let's get to something different. We're going to go to this other tab, and I want to look at the big heavy hitters here. The Mysterium, the C6, the C5. These are the big heavy hitters because you can see these are our big Mysterium cutoffs, right? 50K, you get an extra over 55 for this. You get an extra 50 jumping from M1 to Celestial, an extra 50 from Celestial to C5. And so we have a little more history. Okay, in season 28, that was the first Radiance season that we had come out. Mysterium was 427, and it climbed 36 points the last 48 hours. C6 was 570, 46 points the last 48 hours. And C5 wound up at 636 with 47-point jump. Last season, scores were down. Mysterium was 370, and it went up 40 the last 48 hours. Here's what bit some people. C6 was 519, but it went up 50 points the last 48 hours. Realistically, it was about 40 of those points. A little bit less, but almost 40 of those points in the last 24 hours. It was a wild push last season. And then C5 was that 584 with 40 points. So now that we have some history and some data, we can make a more solid projection. And that's exactly what these points are. So if you take a look back here, you'll see that Mysterium is at 297 if we just straight run out the average. So if we take 297 and we add 50 to it, let's say that you climb 10 points more than the biggest 48-hour climb we've seen the last 2 seasons, that gets you to this 347 number. And the math holds the same moving forward. C6, we're on pace for about 410, right? If we just multiply out the average. And if we add 60 to it, well, that puts us at 470. And for C5, you're looking at 533. These are my beginning estimated safe cutoffs. We'll take a look at the average maybe over the next 3 days. So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll put out a video on Saturday. It'll be good timing for me while I'm doing some other stuff. We'll take a look at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we'll see if there's any significant shift in the averages. But if you're shooting for one of these, this is your starting point. If you're looking for that Mysterium cutoff, go up to 347, 350. If you're looking for that C6 cutoff, get up to 460, 470. And if you're looking C5, get up to that 530, 540 range. That's going to put you in a good spot to be where you want to be when the season comes to a close. I don't think people are loving this meta. I don't think people are going to grind tremendously hard, but people are always looking at that Radiance cutoff and generally trying to push to that next tier. Let's see how this Brawlification season ends, shall we? Thank you for your time. If you got any feedback on how you want to see the maths, etc., let me know in the comments. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good season. And until next time, peace.